Oh, all right. So I finally got my, if I can find it here, it's time to schedule your Tesla delivery text message this morning. And because I know people with orders are gonna ask, it's been roughly about 5 weeks. I ordered on the day it became available. I got my VIN about a week and a half ago, so not last Friday, but the Friday before that. It's been in transit because I'm East Coast pretty much since I got my VIN, and I'm taking delivery in 2 days. So on Thursday, today's Tuesday, as that was the closest pickup time. But yeah, I will see you all on delivery day, which for me is like 2 days. For you all, it's gonna be like 2 seconds. Okay, so we're about 10 minutes out. It's actually pretty annoying, the fact that you still can't purchase a Tesla like in my state just due to dealership laws. Also, for anyone wondering about accessories, yes, I do have some ready. Essentially just exactly what was in my last Model 3 is now going in this Model 3, but I forgot them at the house. So I'll actually be installing them at the end of the video, so y'all see everything I put in there: floor mats, organizers, throwing on the screen protectors, all that good stuff. And I'll have all of them linked below as well. In terms of excitement, well, I'm not honestly excited about the performance side of things. I mean, I know that we have verified reports now of it running the quarter mile in the very, very high 10 seconds. I know that, it looks slightly different. There's different seats, but to be honest, I'm more so excited about just all of the Highland upgrades. And last thing, I'm wondering if they are going to do the FSD beta drive with me. You already get a month for free with every new car purchase. So I don't know. I'm curious if they're going to, like, if it's like a mandatory thing or if it's like a, hey, do you want to do this? If not, then it's cool, but I guess we'll see. All right, so I just got the delivery text. Let's see here. However, I'm, I guess, a little old school, and I don't want to just give them I don't want to just lend them money interest free, in case something goes wrong. Yeah, here it is right here. I can't accept or anything until I go inside and hand it to them, but. All right, so yeah, I just had to go in and drop off things. They actually have you do all the signing inside now instead of, or at least here. They didn't actually have a packet in the car, so I guess they're doing that now, but you can see here, and now I'm good to go ahead and start. I'm here. And located my vehicle, view terms, and just I agree. Or I guess accept. I wonder if it's gonna like remember my profile from my old car. And there's the good old confetti. And cabin overheat protection has already been activated. All right, okay, welcome to the Tesla family. You just immediately see the Ludicrous badging at the bottom. Or I don't actually think Ludicrous is anywhere on the car. I think it's literally just like the badging, but 6 miles on the odometer. I think my last performance was what, 5? So pair, allow, controls, I guess I can just override it. There we go. Oh, those seats. Oh, okay, so this is my first time seeing the white door panel in person. What does it feel like? Is it like plastic or is it a soft touch? No, it's like a leather. Okay. Yeah, it feels just like the leather on the seats. So it is like the old pre them adding on the Legacy 3, or I guess the current Ys. Before they added the where it extended from here to the dash, they used to have a white door card, and then they took that off in favor of the trim extending, which I actually preferred it being on the door. But the perforation holes in the seat make it look really, I'm not used to it. So the badging, there is some texture to it too. Let's kind of walk around, see everything that's new with the performance. So we got the 20-inch warp wheels. To be honest, I'm probably gonna leave the arrows on for the time being. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Apparently taking the wheel off is the best way to remove the arrows. You got the lip down here. This is a little bit different. Well, there's actually not even a lip on the non-performance one. Besides that, it looks very, very much the same. Everything looks really tight. The new badging on the back. It's blue, which I don't know how I feel about. I was not expecting it to be blue, but it is like 3D. The new taillights, of course. New logo on the back I really like. You have the new diffuser down here at the bottom. Looks good. And then besides that, the only other difference really is the carbon fiber on the dash, which honestly doesn't really look too much different from my last car, right? And then the new seats. So first time in the seats. Let's see how they feel. I've heard that the bolstering is pretty aggressive. Okay, yeah, look at this, look. So I am like 215, 6 foot. I mean, it feels good. I have on the thicker side of legs, but I'm not like squashed in or anything. I still got some room. Okay, so now for the moment of truth, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off, or I'm just gonna have to cook for a little bit. I wonder if it's gonna have, why is the FM radio on? I wonder if it's going to remember my profile or anything. Oh, wait a second. Oh, it does. Oh, and this is perfect too. Yeah, perfect. I mean, I don't know how good it would be like going from like a 3 to like an S or like an X, or, you know, if you have like different vehicles, but 3 to 3, even old 3 to new 3, yeah, this is exactly where I used to sit. And it looks like it also remembered, look, all of my icons down here are all the same, even though I probably don't need the camera anymore because there's a camera button on the wheel. Oh, wow. Those cameras look a lot better, don't they? So this car has hardware 4, so I think 5 megapixel cameras. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, saved everything. That's great. This does not, however, have... Oh, no, it does. It does have the new software. Look at that. So my old car never got the software. Apparently it started going live here in the States like last week or something. But here's the new software. It's very Cybertruck-esque, where big vehicle here, map up here, and you can kind of slide over. I wonder if you can just tap. Okay, yeah, so you can tap too. Can you take this over? No, you can't. But all right, now before we do anything, you all already know what I gotta do. I gotta go down here to trips, right here, trip B, and rename that to Lifetime. And before I leave, I'm also gonna get Teslafy set up. Same thing I did last time, just so I have every single mile tracked except for the first 6 miles. 395 watt hours per mile, man. Who was in here flooring it? Oh my God. Someone did a launch already. The screen, you can really tell that the bezels are smaller, huh? So I'm gonna get started with the checklist. Checklist is gonna be linked down below. Directly Sports channel. It took me a super long time to put together. So I'm just gonna do some spins of the car. It's probably gonna take me like no more than 10 minutes. And then after that, we'll hop back on here for the first drive. Something that I actually just noticed, wheels here. So these are the 20-inch. And on the old Uber turbines, y'all will probably remember how the tire was super stretched, which made the actual rim protrude. But now, look at that. No more protruding rim. And it's not like that just on the back, just because the rears are wider. It's also like that on the front. I would say they're about the same. I also did completely forget about the spoiler. The spoiler is slightly different. It's slightly larger, and there is a slight curve to it right here. I'm a fan of the badging, even though it makes 0 sense because there's Ludicrous isn't anywhere on the car, and you know, that's Ludicrous badging. Besides that, I mean, everything looks super tight. The interior headliner looks extremely tight in comparison to my last one. Looks like we also got a flat charge port door. My long range had a protruding one. And then the Highland that I test drove had a protruding one, but this one looks good. Here, I'll show you all the back seat. No more back pockets, and the back paneling extends all the way up for the new seats. But here's the inside. I mean, that just looks super tight. I remember my old one, man. I mean, it looked bad. Also, the door trim looks a lot better. So, door trim looks definitely a lot better. If we can punch through it there. Yeah, there we go. I also like how the front is more straight here instead of rounded. Pretty much the same exact thing in the front, except they've moved the wiper fluid down to the bottom so it's easier to reach. Taking a look at the trunk real quick. I'm very excited to hear the new sound system because the one that I test drove was a bass, as you all know, and it has the Nerf sound system. So pockets on both sides, just like the Y. They also had people picking up some Cybertrucks here as well. There's a few more performance deliveries. There's one down there, there's one here, Cybertruck. Someone just drove off of the Cybertruck. They're doing more deliveries over here. So they've really expanded the delivery area here. And I asked them about Cybertrucks, and they said that they have just been delivering them like crazy. So, oh, and there's the new Lunar Silver Model X. Looks really good. Plaid, both of them plaids. Looks so good, so good. The screen feels weird here because I'm so used to it being pointed toward me and not just like, it feels weird. It better not just start randomly playing music because I got a first song I gotta listen to. All right, and we are headed to the same place we always eat anytime I've picked up a Tesla, Chili's. For that, baby bat, baby bat, baby bat. I need my baby bat, baby bat. And just press to drive. Gotta get the glasses off the dash. I didn't even check and see what, I think it's under dynamics now. Oh, so we're not even in insane. Of course we gotta put it in insane. Steering weight heavy, it's definitely heavy. I've heard going to standard ride and handling actually feels pretty good. It actually does dampen the bumps in the road quite a lot. All right, first time with the turn signal. It's definitely gonna take a little bit to get used to. Gotta do our autopilot calibration. So I guess it did not keep my mirrors the same. Maybe it did. Oh, I don't really need cameras anyway. Or not cameras, but mirrors. I got cameras. All right, yep, already retched for the stock. And this is my first time with the new UI, so the whole like trip navigation looks really, really weird. Or not weird, I'm just not used to it. Apparently we also have blind spot indicators now. The little red dots on the side of the, or I think they're in the speakers. Let me put on, because I think you can change it while you're driving. Put on standard. Yeah, I can feel it a little bit. Back to sport. This bridge will be a good test. Yeah, I definitely felt that. Put it back on standard. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That smooths it up. The region bar is no longer on top, it's on the side. Okay. Those cameras kind of got a little green tint to them. Camera calibration complete. Looks like we are ready for autopilot. Wait, no, I'm stupid. It's now this button. Oh, I never enabled the autopilot in the settings. Well, now I just feel stupid. And I can't turn it on because I'm driving. No! This is supposed to be my job! I'm looking like a complete noob right now. Yeah, remember to turn your autopilot settings on before you leave the delivery center. Well, if we come to like super heavy traffic, I think I can do a quick park, enable, agree, and then redrive. That Tesla new car smell smells so good. I definitely don't think it kept my mirrors for some reason. It kept my seating position. I actually wonder, I've heard that these seats can go a little bit lower. No, I already have it on the floor. I literally drive with the seat on the floor. I come from a Mustang growing up, so I'm just used to like the on the floor bucket seat feel. There's also no screen peel. I just noticed that. They took my screen peely off. I didn't even get to enjoy it. Same thing on the back too. Also, sound system, yes. That bass is more rumbly. I said it when I test drove the Highland. The seats, they don't really feel any more comfortable. The 3 already had incredibly comfortable seats. You definitely can feel the bolstering, but that's about it. Besides that, same great level of comfort. However, the cheeks are nice and cool, I will say that. So far, I'm not hearing any rattles. I mean, I can still hear the outside world, right? Like, I think some people that are trying to say that it's so much quieter just haven't driven or ridden and haven't spent a lot of time in the Model 3 that already had the double pane front glass. It is a little bit quieter, but it's not by much. But I don't hear any like rattles or kind of any shifting of materials or anything. Oh shoot, I gotta get off.
Now take exit 3 on the right.
I think I just missed my exit. Should have had FSD. Should have had Elon himself driving for me. I wouldn't have missed my exit. You know what, maybe I will pay $8,000 now. Bro, is this guy coal rolling me? I've had the car for like 30 minutes. I'm submitting this to Wham Bam.
Take exit 2A on the right toward Western Avenue.
The thing also sounds different, the navigation voice. Got it. Bro, what is this traffic? You know what? I'm just gonna let Elon do my driving for me. How does that sound? Elon Musk, take us where we need to go. Don't you dare pull out in that right lane. Don't you dare. I will drive you back to the dealership. Sorry, showroom. I think I'm in the wrong lane. I will never forgive them for getting rid of the Awesome Blossom. Awesome Blossom? And charging. The new charging screen and everything looks really nice in these cars though. Or I guess not the charging screen, but the like on the side here. That's good, just double checking. I could have done this at the place, but they had a ton of cars already at the chargers and everything. And so we got an hour. And now time for my favorite part, the accessories. So let me go ahead and get this out of here. You know, this is my first time getting this. I have never gotten one of these before, so. Also, everything I'm gonna be installing, you can get at Test Stuff, and our Father's Day sale starts today. So code CYBERDAD will get you 15% off your entire order through Tuesday the 18th. I'll have everything linked below. We'll first do the floor mats. It's a little dirty just because I've been testing them. So here, it's an XPE. It has foam in it for sound dampening, which should further the in-cabin noise. It has a outer layer weave, which actually makes it much easier to clean than say something like TPE, so like the really hard rubber stuff. Oh yeah, fits like an absolute glove. I mean, look at that. Got the front end. Here's the rear passenger mat. Fits perfectly as well. Perfectly around the anchors for the seats. I mean, and it just blends right in. The screen for moving the passenger seat up is actually so nice. And it doesn't just move it up, it leans the seat forward. So if you do this, you'll see the seat's actually leaning back. And then when you do this, it goes forward and the seat leans forward. So it makes putting the floor mats in super, super easy. You just move this one up and then you can move that up. I can't tell how many times I've been in the back here and I need to like get out, go around to move the passenger seat up. So this is really nice. Also, something else that I've noticed, I don't know if anyone else has ever noticed this, but in every Model 3 I've owned, and just every Model 3 I've been in general, the passenger seat is always slightly, like the gap between that and the center console is always slightly bigger than the driver's seat. Have y'all noticed that? Every Model 3 I've been in, it's always been like that. And here is the front passenger floor mat. It's really nice to see that they have finally fixed the floorboard for the passenger side. Time for the front trunk here and just drop it right in. There's the trunk well mat. Man, I should have cleaned this if I was actually trying to, you know, impress you all, but. And then finally, the trunk mat, which I mean, man, it's just a perfect fit. We even have a little cutout right here for the pull tab so you can still access your sub trunk. And we've even given it a way to naturally folds on the line. Sliding little organizer. See, it just slides right back. There's like a little shelf right there. There's even a little tab right there you can put your finger in. It slides all the way back. It's really nice. And then same thing for the armrest as well. This one just sits right in. And it's such a good fit too. I mean, it just fits. I mean, it looks OEM too. You think that they would include these by default, but they don't. They used to, but not anymore. Also have a screen protector I need to put on the front here, along with this back screen, but I'm gonna do that later. Oh, and I have mud flaps that I need to put on as well, but same thing with the screen protector, I'll put that on later. Okay, so it's been a few days, a few hundred miles. Yes, 120 of those miles was a round trip to the service center, but I have some first impressions. So let's first start with the performance, as I feel like that's the main appeal right now. Low end, 0 to 60. I've launched my old Model 3 Performance literally hundreds of times, so I know what it feels like. This car is just ever so slightly more intense, and it's so slight that you might not even be able to tell a difference. Half the time, I can't tell a difference, which I mean isn't really a surprise considering Tesla only claimed about a 0.2 second improvement. As for the top end, and what most people, including myself, were more interested in, it does pull more. My prior performance really died off after that 60 hitting 70 mark, whereas this one doesn't really die off until it hits 90, going into 100. I believe the 60 to 130 went from around a 13 second to a high 9 second, which is great to see. However, considering that the Model S long range, not even a performance version or anything, has a high 7 second 60 to 130, I was kind of expecting just a tad bit more. Yeah, there's not really too much else to say about performance, unless you're talking price to performance, where, you know, this is a high 10-second quarter-mile car, and for sub $50,000, assuming you qualify for the tax credit, is pretty insane. However, I feel like that if you are in the market for a Model 3 Performance, then you are probably also somewhat eyeing the Plaid, considering that it is sub $90,000, and that is also an insane deal. And if you want just straight performance, I still think that is the car to get for the money. Some people are calling this car a supercar killer, which I don't actually agree with, considering that most supercars will destroy this car in the 60 to 130. Whereas the Plaid actually destroys all of those cars. Like that actually is a supercar killer. Now, despite the actual like performance not really being a standout feature for me, though please remember that performance and how you feel about it is going to be subjective with what you have experienced in the past, the other performance quirks and features are standouts. The rear end being a standout feature. Wider tires, a diffuser, a bigger spoiler. It just makes the rear end look so much more meaty. Combine that with the new taillights and badging of the Highland upgrade, and this is the best looking rear end on a Tesla, and I don't think that's even up for debate. It just looks so good. And to be honest, I think the same can be said for the front end too. I was and still am not the biggest fan of the normal Highland's front end, but the performance with the lip, the air slits, and just the overall more aggressive front fascia, I think it just looks fantastic. The new adaptive suspension is also pretty good. Sport feels identical to my old Model 3 Performance. However, the standard mode, in my opinion, feels even better than the non-performance Highland. So like the long range and the base, and that's even with them having 18 inches versus these having 20-inch wheels. I think this on standard feels better than those cars. It's not air suspension, but it's like halfway there. And finally, the seats, they look great, they feel great. The bolstering isn't like crazy aggressive, but it is enough to keep you in place. A lot better than the old Model 3 seats. I've already ceramic coated them. I do wish that the black accents, like the piping extended to the back. The Model S Plaid also has new sport seats, and the accents extend to the back on that car. This one doesn't. The rear seats are just the normal like Highland rear seats, but I mean, it's fine. But overall, I'm very happy with them, and I'm happy that Tesla decided to do something for the performance on the inside. Now, I'm not gonna talk about Highland upgrades as I'd be here all day, and I plan on diving more into my thoughts on everything as a whole in my like future upcoming review. But initial impressions, everything as a whole is fantastic, except the turn signals, which is really my only gripe about the car, and it's probably not for the reason you think. I'm not like a big stock lover. I'm fine with shifting gears on the screen or having backups up here, and I'm fine with using the turn signals on the wheel. However, what I'm not fine with is when the turn signals just don't work. Like, I actually prefer the no stock look, but when the turn signals don't work, that's when we have a problem. They're not physical buttons like they are on Cybertruck. They're haptics like they are on the like refreshed S and X. And I don't know if it's because the car is lagging or there's like, there's not enough RAM, right? They need to download more RAM. They just sometimes become stuck. Like I'm pressing it, but it's not actually pressing. In fact, it's happened so many times that I've kind of been able to troubleshoot it myself, and I've found that if that does happen to you, pressing the opposite turn signal will normally make the turn signal you're trying to press become unstuck. Oh, and the tail light is also another gripe, which is why I ended up taking it in for service. It's not aligned, it sticks out, and you don't really notice it until you're right up next to it. But yeah, it's definitely not aligned, and I'm afraid that water is gonna end up getting into it, which I figured would be a super easy, I just take it into service and they fix it. However, after I took it into service, drove 120 miles, they said that it's within spec. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to get them to fix it again. Hopefully they do, but as of right now, I think it looks bad. There was also a few other little fit and finish issues that I got fixed or that I'm getting fixed when I go back because I had to order parts, but I know if I don't mention it, people will call me a Tesla shill and saying that I'm trying to hide, but I don't know. Plus me complaining about it, I'll have the Tesla shills coming after me saying that I'm overreacting, and yeah. I'm just trying to give you all my honest experience. But yeah, shout out to the checklist, because hadn't I had that, I wouldn't have noticed any of them. Also, shout out to the guy, I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, that I met at the delivery center when I was signing papers, that he actually told me he was using my checklist. So hopefully your Tesla delivery was flawless. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. If you are new around here and you do want to see more stuff on my new Model 3 Performance, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Got a lot of stuff coming, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.